Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video of World of Warships, and in this video I'm gonna be featuring the Willem the Eerste. Now, sorry guys if I have mispronounced the name, but this is our Dutch newest battleship for steel. And by the way, you can buy it for 31,000 steel, and honestly, that ship is pretty powerful. I don't know, giving it a tier 9 Duncan hull, which you find on a British battle cruiser line. It's basically having that Duncan tier 9 hull, except that it does have 32mm bow and stern, which is good, but it does not come up with anything else like the super heel or something that gives a lot of survivability. So in the case of Willem the Eerste, it's not really survivable, especially if you do broadside. It does have a really big citadel. It takes huge damage. It takes a lot of pen damage, and it does have the superstructure at the back that tends to eat a lot of damage as well, especially from the battleship AP. I have experience in my case that it tends to take a lot of damage, especially if you are even in kiting or even if you are playing in bowing in. Bowing in is a very big much, I would say, death sentence. I mean, bowing in this ship is definitely very devastating. You will not gonna survive. That's the reality, unless you do really utilize its very impressive concealment. its concealment is actually better than that of Thunderer and Conqueror. We used to think that, oh my goodness, Thunderer has one of the best concealment battleships in the game, or the Conqueror at tier 10 tech 3-1. Well, Willem the Eerste has 12.2 kilometer, so you have slightly like 0.1 kilometer better, but it's still better, and it tells that, yeah, Wargaming willing to come up with more ships in the future in battleship that have really good concealment. So I basically come up with the drawbacks, and the armor is like the biggest drawback of the Willem the Eerste. In this case, I'm playing ranked, and even then, how bad of an armor that it gets, it's still a monster. If you know how to do airstrikes, that's very important. This is the critical part, that if someone really, I would say, get themselves learned from either the Goudenlieu, which is pretty much easy to get, like it's a tech 3 cruiser, or the Utrecht. Again, if you were able to learn that whole curve of how to drop these airstrikes, I can guarantee you that you will literally make battleship's life so toxic and so hard that it's not even funny. Like in this case, you will realize that I'm gonna be making the Willem the Eerste as the Conqueror at the time when it got released. Like seriously, I will really gonna show how big of a flamethrower that it has. If you are not even using AP, and I haven't even talked about the AP, how sort of powerful the AP is, like really powerful the AP is, like penetration wise. It's actually funny because Willem the Eerste, by the way, 2 fires casually, and I think I just got some shells hit on the Bourgogne accidentally, which is the most hilarious part. But anyways, we will get back to it. And I was talking about the AP. Man, I mean, do you know we have the 510mm guns Shikishima, right? It having basically having that similar levels of penetration, except that this having 419mm guns. Yeah, it retains quite much the same penetration. When I'm talking about the Willem the Eerste AP, almost Shikishima levels of AP, slightly worse at even long ranges, like slightly worse. So you basically do kind of like 457mm guns penetration. Like usually the penetration numbers are kind of like that. Now in this case, I was talking about how I'm playing this as a Conqueror, because this ship can do even better than Conqueror. And look at that damage, man, that's disgusting. I did like 15k or something like that damage to that Bourgogne that basically turned in, right? And that is just a start. The amount of damage that you can pump in Willem the Eerste is just super fast, especially when you are facing 32mm plating ships like the Bourgogne or Conqueror. They just tend to eat a lot of damage. And I mean, then we have Montanas, those poor Montanas. They actually got power crept. I can't believe it, man. I have to say that Montana armor gets kind of power crept with the help of Willem the Eerste airstrikes, or maybe you can say Prince van Oranje airstrikes. And since the Prince van Oranje is not like seriously available, except maybe in the Santa Golden containers, We do have the access to William Wrist at least. Yes, steel is not easy to come by. That's one sort of argument. But still, even then, at some point in future, you will see more of these ships. And maybe it might sort of more popular. Maybe, we don't know. But I definitely say one thing, that it's extremely toxic. Now in this case, as you see, I'm just getting good airstrikes. And that Kurfürst taken at 2 fires. And he disappeared. And I think I just messed up with my airstrike this time. But honestly, it does not matter. You can shoot HE, you have 2.1 Sigma, you have 47% fire chance. Like, and I think I might get... I still managed to get double fire from the shells. this guy. And now he's broadsiding, he realizes, I might need to like run away from this position. Like this position is just complete trash. There's the William Wrist at basically the one line, and the Montana making a crossfire. I just can't stay here. He just realizes this now. Like, yeah, players positioning and minimap awareness. Yeah, that's how the players really are in World of Warships 2025. But at least he realizes most of the Kurfürst players that I have seen that just literally push in and die. Like, it's a secondary brawler sort of battleship apparently, running from the sniper William Wrist. How ironic is that? I mean, it's funny, man. And you can see that Kurfürst literally have just taken all of the HP drained by the fires, and he's decided to run away. Now, obviously, once they are running away, and my team is still in sort of a good position, especially that Petro staying here. But even though it's looking all good at this point, you will soon realize that our team is not so good and will eventually die at some point. Meanwhile, was still gonna farm it with HE shells as long as he's angled. I can always use AP if I have to. The AP alpha is pretty decent as well. For 419mm guns, it does have like 13.7k AP alpha, which is slightly better than 406 guns that you find on Montana. In many battleships, I would say this is comparatively better. And then, if you notice that the maximum damage is slightly improved, well, thanks to the Conrad Helfrich. Pretty good captain, especially on the William Wrist. So I mean, I'm not here for a review. I'm not reviewing this. Maybe I might make a review on this. I just want to showcase you a gameplay how toxic this ship can be, right? I had talked about some of the features, sure. Maybe I can make a review on that. But yeah, this is the strength of the William Wrist. Just spamming HE like you are a Yoshino, Conqueror, or Thunder, setting fires with impressive 47% fire chance. And if someone dares to push, and you know what happened? This is the most interesting part that happened right now. I basically got the Witherer on the ship right now. And now I have the main battery reload time reduced to 21.8 seconds with these guns. Yeah, that's why I'm also spamming HE. I usually try to get the Witherer on this ship, and once you do that, and it gets to that mark pretty comfortably, because again, William Wrist, really good HE shells. You can always use AP, and I use AP as well. It's not like I'm doing a noob stuff here. I'm just doing what I should do and how you should do in William Wrist. Angled battleship, use HE, it's super potent. Broadside battleship, use AP, and you will get actually citadels on battleship. That's how it is good. And yeah, notice there's a Sibir that we are fighting. Yeah, well, there's also one thing about the William Wrist that is pretty interesting, and that is that you can penetrate the decks of Sibir in this case. So at least in this case, Kremlin is better, way better for sure. Like, Sibir is a big, chunky ship, have a very thick sort of deck. Like, not thick, I'm not going to say thick, it's just that it's wide. The ship is so wide that you have a chance of landing tons of bomb hits on Sibir, and all of them will pen. 40mm will be penned by the William Wrist. So that is the sort of a counter that you can have at least against Sibir. And now in this case, I mean, I can always shoot HE and set fires, and Sibir does not have the fast DCP that he needs compared to Kremlin. These are the weaknesses of Sibir, but I mean, Sibir is a very strong ship regardless. I kind of really still rate it better than Kremlin, if you know what you're doing, at least in my case. And what I'm doing here is something that is typical toxic William Wrist playstyle. Just setting fires. I have already set 12 fires. and I'm sort of not managing the airstrikes well in this case. I'm just leading it a bit too far. Like, I'm over leading those airstrikes. Could have done better, but even if I don't, I just always just do so much massive damage with HE. And in this case, I just set a permanent fire, still dealing good damage, even though the alpha is not super impressive, maybe compared to Conqueror, right? But then these are like, you know, still very impressive 2.1 sigma accuracy guns we are talking. So it's still really good. Like, Conqueror does not have really that accuracy that Willem de Rist still gets, and you can rack up a lot of damage. But if you don't able to kill the ship, even if you set on tons of fires, then the value is not really good with fire damage, right? I mean, yes, you can farm and do massive damage. You like, oh ho ho ho, I have 192k damage, I'm feeling so happy. Sure, your dopamine will be like good, it kicks in well, but it's not something that you should do. You have to really kill a battleship. Now in this case, finally 5 bomb hits and I got the Bourgogne, right? I just got a bit lucky here. Did not take any Citadel damage from maybe the Sibir. Moskva won't do the Citadel unless we are talking about Stalin or Petro. Petro is also very comfortable in Citadeling Willem de Rist, believe it or not, at even 15 kilometers. But yeah, racking up damage is good, but if you are not killing the ships, then whatever you are doing, in my case, this Toxicity sort of you know, game with the HE spamming and setting those airstrikes with the bombs, that's not gonna be really good. If you don't kill the ship. But at least in my case, I managed to kill not only the GK, not really the GK somehow ran away, but I think died by, maybe, I don't remember really actually. Even if I am recording this gameplay, did I really kill the Kurfürst? I just didn't realize. I do know that I have killed the Bourgogne with the airstrikes, but anyways, the Kurfürst have still taken a massive damage. I probably have you know, get rid of his all 5 heals in this way, but even then he might not have come up to use all the heals because of that really bad cooldown time. Poor German BB, honestly. Kurfürst definitely needs some sort of buff, or at least, you know, all the German ships in general, they do need some sort of heal cooldown time. They're really sort of kind of nerfing in some way or the other by just releasing so many ships that have really fast cooldown time, unlike Kurfürst that are just sat in the corner, and unfortunate. But in this case, notice there's a full broadside Sibir, man. I just can't believe it, man. I seriously didn't believe that the Sibir will do. I think he thought that I might be coming from the other side of the flank, other side of the island. He just didn't realize it. And I was talking about the Sibir weakness, right? He has 15k HP, 15k HP. All of them got poop. All of the HP with a single airstrike got poof. I didn't even manage to shoot the AP onto the broadside of Sibir. Like, that is something funny in itself, and that is something that I have to say. These airstrikes are just ridiculous. Now in this case, the Moskva is doing the right thing, and he can literally ram me and kill me, and he will still win. So I just decided a bad sort of thing. I thought that I can just get to his broadside and will do something. Meanwhile, the Sibir, you know, hull might just help me do that, but it does not happen. Moscow get full citadels at this range, and I should have rammed him to get more damage. I would not have killed, I would not have won this game regardless. It's impossible because they have more HP, they have more points. If I would have rammed the Moskva, it will still win. The Moskva with his team will still win because they have more points. Whereas, you know, in my case, I simply have to basically kill the Moskva, which I can. The AP, you know, and Moskva in general cannot be like in a bow-in situation, can take a massive damage like this. So it's unfortunate. I have to broadside. Maybe did a mistake here. Honestly, I should have really rammed him. Even if we have a lost game, could have at least showed you like 355k damage or something like that. Would be really nice, right? But yeah, the damage numbers looks good for sure, and this ship actually can deliver a lot of damage. But it's pretty toxic. I must say, this ship is toxic. This ship is not really, you know, I would say it's fun to play in a way that you just farm with the bombs and HE shells, but it's not really good against fighting Willem de Rist itself. Like, if you are Willem de Rist like this in the enemy team, I would be really gonna have to, like, seriously have to find out a way to basically deal with you, because you do have like so many advantages compared to many battleships. Like for example, the biggest advantage is the concealment. If there is no enemy destroyer that can spot the ship, right, then how you gonna spot the ship in the other battleship? Like how you will spot the William Dearest and just focus him down to that? That's the biggest problem. If there's no destroyer, no enemy destroyer, and if there's like the situation of battleship versus battleship, then there's a very high chance in kiting that you will win, unless he pushes in with a very fast speed and everything that it has. But even then you do have like really fast speed. So I don't know, this ship is toxic. I have to say that this ship is really powerful at the same time. It's a very, very strong ship, very powerful, even with the weaknesses, which I would say sort of makes it balanced, not overpowered. I'm not gonna say balanced, it just makes it very strong, almost borderline, and not broken, just because that it does have a big citadel. So, and also really not having good healing potential, and the survivability issues that it does still have. But anyways, that was the game. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this ship. Peace out.